of wrestling. But yeah, I mean, if they want to go down that route, let them do it. But yeah, I mean, Nasty Boys Team 3D, definitely an ugly event.
And you mentioned ODB versus Daphne. Moving on, Kendrick versus Kaz. Well, Kendrick's string symphony music. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I'm liking Kendrick's new theme tune. Definitely is a great thing for him, and really builds upon that character for the entrance. Kendrick's a great talent and someone we're big fans of. But Kaz came in with the flux capacitor, which is a phenomenal finisher in my opinion, and takes Kendrick out. So upwards, downwards, on we go.
What is it about Kaz? Since he's come back, I know he's been under a costume for however long as the suicide gimmick, but he just seems a whole lot bigger. It just seems like he's gained a lot of mass. Perhaps he's been working out big time since he's been under that suit. But now, to me, he looks like a lot more of a competitor. Certainly, I felt watching that match, Kendrick versus Kaz, I did feel like if Bischoff was sitting backstage, he would be looking at Kaz and thinking he could very well be soon a main event player.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you look at Kaz, sometimes I'm thinking, next Abyss. This guy, he's definitely got it, and a lot more fluid as Kazarian than Suicide. I think definitely, in my opinion, if you watch and compare the two in-ring moves, ability, and speed, Kazarian coming out on top without a doubt on that one.
It's what we like to see. Last time he had a run as the Kazarian gimmick, he didn't inspire me, but he certainly looked like a real performer this time. Anderson took on Rob Terry. I think the less said about that one, the better. And then, of course, the real high spot of the show for me was when Bischoff came along and, well, he had something to say about Raw.
Yeah, Bischoff on the phone there is saying that TNA were not going to use celebrity guest hosts each week, and that's the dumbest idea that he's ever heard. Certainly, I think we know who that one was directed at.
Without a shadow of a doubt, and it's nice to see that they're name-checking the opposition, which they continually do, and you're never going to see Vince do. But anyway, Desmond Wolfe versus Abyss.
Yeah, I think
I threw you in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they were really building on here, but it definitely opened the doors for the Flair and AJ interference, and then, of course, the big challenge at the end there with Hogan and Abyss and Flair and AJ, and the return to the ring, it seems, on March 8th when Impact go live for the second time, and yeah, Hogan and Flair, looks like it's going to happen.
Hulk Hogan at the end of TNA Impact, blood streaming down his face. It looked a sight, but, well, I think maybe they've got one more in them.
Yeah, without doubt, and even if they do the tag match, I think either way, it's pay-per-view buys, yeah.
It is. I mean, that's one that I'll put down the $15 for, because UK fans, they can now watch the TNA pay-per-views live via the TNA Video Vault website. And don't forget also, after somewhat of a debacle over the last few months, the TNA pay-per-views are now back on UK screens. And of course, we're from Ireland, so we include Ireland there as well. And they're going to be on the Extreme Sports channel. So that's some good news. That's on Sky Digital Channel 419 and Virgin Media Channel 527. It was a worrying situation. We had TNA pay-per-views for free, and then we didn't have them. And a lot of people felt that just that month or two ago, when TNA had that big live special, and following that we had the big pay-per-view with the debut of the four-sided ring, and we couldn't see it, but now thankfully we can. There was a lot of really strange stuff going on. Bravo claimed that it was a TNA decision. TNA claimed that it was a Bravo decision. Meeting in the middle is Dixie Carter's Facebook, and she didn't seem to know who was responsible either way.
Yeah, I I don't think Dixie was too up on it. But in saying that, at the same time, TNA, the show stays in its current home of Bravo, where it's shown here every Saturday night at 9 p.m.
9 p.m. is the time, and it's become a ratings beater now in the UK. It's trouncing WWE Raw at times in the ratings. Now, a lot of people in the US have spoken about this, and I know that PWR Show, one of your favourites, they've wondered why it is that TNA gets higher ratings than the UK. Well, the solution is pretty simple. If you're not up on the UK television market here, it's a little bit different than the US, but effectively Bravo is on all basic cable and satellite services that are digital. So basically the Raw channel is Sky Sports, which is a premium channel. You pay extra for that, like your HBO, etc. And there's just a greater reach of audience for TNA here.
Yeah, something that's always been a big thing over here for WWE and problems for them. I'd say their ratings would be through the roof if they were on standard cable TV as opposed to the premium sites like we just mentioned. But definitely TNA being on Bravo on a free channel is the way forward, and they know how to work that. And free sometimes equals ratings, and that's just the way you got to look at it.
Yes, indeed it is. TNA Impact moving to Monday nights, March 8th. And for all of us here in the UK and Ireland, it'll be March 9th. I somewhat have a feeling that I'm going to need help from my friend. And he's your friend too, Justin. Justin.tv.
Yeah, Justin.tv. I think it will be the way we have to do it.
We're forced to do that over here. No live coverage of TNA Impact for us. So you've got basically an option of contacting either Justin, he's one of my mates, and not to forget Don Load as well. He sometimes has copies of the pay-per-view. But anyway, TNA is moving to Monday nights, and we're really looking forward to it. Just a few weeks ago, there was that opening live special. We were really excited. It was old-time, old-school wrestling back on the television, competition for Vince, and it's produced a couple of months of some really interesting news stories, angles. It's been creatively very refreshing for the products in general. Yeah,
I think we both agree. We both watched the two shows live on two different screens and flipped over from one to the other when things went up and things went down. But definitely Impact, the better show on the night in our opinion. Some people have said that Raw was the better show with the return of Bret Hart, but we tend to disagree on that one without doubt. And I think Impact definitely putting the pressure on WWE with the talk of Raw going to 3 hours as opposed to a 2-hour show. All rumours, of course, but something that definitely TNA would need to take note of.
They're going to have to think very fast. If WWE counters with a 3-hour show, it's a pretty big sign that they're trying to take on what they perceive as a threat. It's always one of those things that Vince ignores these other companies until it's time for them to be conquered, or indeed if they become a threat to him. And it looks like perhaps that talk of a 3-hour show is leading in that direction. We're going to have to find out what happens. The only thing I can't understand about this so far, and maybe I'm really just missing a trick here, but what does it mean when someone says every other? When someone says it's going to be live every other week, is that this week, next week? Which weeks is it going to be live if it's every other week?
Yeah, a good question. We saw on the January 4th Impact, there was more tapings the following day, and going forward on March 8th, God knows if it's going to be a live taping followed by another live taping for the following week, or will it be full-on, full-scale live, as you see WWE Raw for over 15 years at this stage. The way to do it for TNA, but only on a live every Monday night.
Every Monday night, that's what the viewer is going to be looking for. I mean, I found as soon as it left the live format the following week after the special, and you had a situation where it was taped once more, it just lost that special feeling. It just wasn't the sort of show that